sight. It was a little circle, that dot. And you knew at 1,000 yards what the reflection was. So it was pretty antique-y.
Did the job.
Yeah. But that 50, caliber 50 machine guns were powerful. Little gadgets.
So other than that time when you got 30 holes, 300 holes in the plane, the time you got other than that time when you got 300 holes in the plane, and how many other times was the plane hit? Things like that.
Oh, at one time I had 300 in there, but it was hit many times. One time they shut out the hydraulic system and all the hydraulic fluid leaked out except what was in what they called an accumulator. That really took care of your braking system for landing. And we had to wind the gear down, see, Daniel, and but you couldn't. It had a lock, it had a yellow thing about like this that showed whether it was locked or not. If you could see that plainly, it was locked. Well, let me tell you what, your eyesight came in handy at that point. You were looking very hard to see that yellow dot or spot out there about, like near to the wall almost. And so we came in without brakes, and when the pressure in the accumulator was dissipated, we kept rolling in a fire pressure. That was just one time.
You went farther than the runway then, Hank, or was there enough runway?
Huh?
Did you have enough runway in that one?
Well, no, we ran off on the grass, mowed a little grass, but got stopped. And it was dry weather, we didn't bog down, and crash. So everybody was on the plane was wounded but me, which was the process for.
Was that the 35th run or was that the first run?
No, this was down the way, about halfway through.
Well, it seemed like you were in the most dangerous place, and you're the only one that wasn't shot.
Well, I had some flak that hit me in the back, like if you'd throw a baseball about 100 miles an hour, it hit me in the back. But I had this K-pop padding on there for my parachute, and that stopped that thing. It was like a long slug about like that. If that hit me in the back, it would have been curtains for me.
What was that, shrapnel or what?
Shrapnel. See, this flak, it exploded, and there was a shrapnel burst that.
Yeah, they load them full of shrapnel, right?
Yeah, it was like it just exploded. It was still a bomb, that exploded. And those were what they call proximity fuses. Some of those were.
Would they shoot those up with a cannon or how they?
Yeah, they shot it up with an 88mm cannon. Oh, it was.
And that would shoot up 24,000 feet?
Well, 5 miles. What the hell,
No, when you're bombing in that town, you said you had to do visual?
Well, sometimes, on the final run, we would drop down to 18,000.
When you said you were hitting a railroad yard and there was a church you had to miss in Cologne?
Yeah.
How low were you there? Because that wasn't 20,000 feet.
We'd be about 24,000 feet.
You could see the church from that high up?
Oh, yeah, sure, you could see. Because we had maps of our target area. It showed exactly where we were supposed to go. And the Norden bomb site was supposed to put the eggs where they were supposed to go. And depending on the wind directions and temperatures and various other things, a lot of people don't realize there's layers of wind. And sometimes you got wind going like this, you got wind going this way and this way, sort of. You get a side draft and it'll cause things to happen rather strange.
You mean with the bombs you're dropping?
Huh?
With the
It
bombs
would affect them.
Yeah.
See, I was the armament man on the plane, and it was my job to go out and pull the arming pins
Pins off.
out of the bomb.
They were loaded then.
Then they were possible to be explosive then. So the first time I did that, well, I didn't think too much about saving those pins. The way it turned out, that mission happened to be aborted. We came in with a load of bombs that were hot.
Active.
And I tell you,
You
after
make sure
that,
you were hoping they were making nice
I
little
didn't
landing.
have, you know, Air Force had multiple pockets in their uniform. And I made dang sure that I had the pins in one of those pockets. And I had to go back out there sometimes. And do you ever? The catwalk was about like this. I guess just about like that. And you couldn't. You had to keep your feet kind of straight like this. And sometimes you get out there, if you had damage, the bomb bay doors would be open. You'll be out there walking down that little path, looking down there. You could see what was down there, but you weren't looking down much. You were kind of
Holding on.
doing this and fishing the pin out, and trying to get it back in the place. But I survived, and it was no problem. That was a learning experience, and I'll take along so long.
How old were you?
I was 18 and a half when I went in. I was about 20 years old. I became 21 when I was over there.
If you did 35 missions, how close were they back to back? I mean, like,
Oh, sometimes they were.
did you prepare a lot between them? Did you prepare? Did you study the maps and do that?
Oh, yeah.
Was there a lot of training?
You'd walk into a big briefing room, and they had a maps that would cover a whole wall, you know, and they had strings with bank pins, you know, that they would was exactly where your route was supposed to go and where the target was.
And what
This was confidential stuff, and you didn't say a word about this once you left the building.
what year was it?
Huh?
What year? What year was that? What year?
Well, that was in 44.
You say it was grade 24?
Yeah.
So you can find videos. I was just finished in here.
Things they have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the things that they have on technology.
That was the Swineford one. That's where they made ball bearings. They were pretty touchy about that place.
And you
That looks like a familiar view.
Yeah. Oh, I did something.
and all the flights went over Holland on the way in. You called it the Zering Z. Was that what
Maybe
flights
a
went in through
tab.
Holland?
No, not normally.
Oh.
Oh, no, that's different. Let's see.
I touched the corner up there probably with my thumb.
Oh, here it is.
That's what you had to look at.
Yeah.
Looking down.
You can see that.
Look familiar?
That looked familiar.